Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Alberic. Welcome to Tekkel Talk Show Live. Good to be back. Good to have you, my friend.
How's Annie? Yeah, lekker. Again, Tekkel Thursday, and we all ready to roll. Got a jam-packed episode tonight. So, guys, yeah, stay tuned. We got a fantastic guest. You guys are gonna love as well. So, yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, no, looking forward. It's Women's Month after all. So, then for the next couple of weeks, the focus is obviously on the ladies. And we have a very, very special guest tonight. We're going to chat to her in a few minutes' time. But obviously, we are still in awe. Our Springboks taking a Lions series victory. That was nailbyt. Ik sê vir jou, Alberic, het was close. Maar daar het julle het nou, die Springboks, wat die series vat 2-1. En fokus asseblief op hy laaste wedstryd. Die Springbokke met 'n strafskop in die doodsnikke van die wedstryd. Wie sou dit kon skryf? Morne Steyn, weer eens. Die Springbokke se held in daardie wedstryd. Dit voel goed om weer die Britse en Ierse leeu's te klop.
No, it's massive, Annie, and there's been so much banter this week regarding the way the Springboks have played and how they actually, played boring rugby. But, at the end of the day, it's winning rugby. I think it's in our DNA. Is what the Boks have been playing for all years. Is what one is a World Cup, a couple of Tri-Nations, Rugby Championship tournaments, and that's what it is. And I think at the end of the day, bring on the All Blacks or bring on Australia, whoever wants to play their style, and big up to them for doing that. It's what we play to our strengths, and at the end of the day, it counted for us.
No, for sure. So to Jack Dinaber, Dion Davids, Zwandile Stick, Sia Kolisi, and his team, well done on a series victory. En baie dankie dat jy vir ons die Springbok ondersteuners met 'n glimlag natuurlik Saterdag aand, maar vir die res van 12 jaar kan ons sê ons het die Britse en Ierse leeu's weer eens geklop. Is fantasties. En dan natuurlik is daar nog rugby, Alberic. Is die rugby stop nie, is die rugby, dit is sommer onmiddellik gaan die skote weer klap in die Rugby Championships. Daar natuurlik New Zealand wat Australië reeds geklop het laas naweek, maar daar is die fixtures vir hierdie opkomende naweek. New Zealand taking on Australia in Eden Park. Daai wedstryd Saterdagoggend, and then the Springboks against Argentina in the beautiful windy city of Port Elizabeth. We've seen a lot of changes by Jacques Nienaber and his team, but we believe that the Springboks will obviously continue their winning streak. It's going to be an exciting weekend to watch rugby again.
No, exactly, and I mean, what better rugby than the Southern Hemisphere? We've always been able to, bring some brilliant rugby to the fore. And again, hopefully the Boks will step up to the plate and entertain some people. So yeah, let's see. With regards to that, I mean, this weekend's team that the Boks have chosen, some surprises, and again, looking at the fact that we are giving some guys a rest. Jacques Nienaber mentioned player welfare. And giving those main guys. I mean, they have had a massive 3 weeks of intense rugby, just not on necessarily on the field, but also off the field. So yeah, it's good to see the young guys coming through. At the same time, we shouldn't be underestimating the RGs. We shouldn't be.
No, for sure.
They're going to be coming with a very strong team, and I'm sure they're going to be. They fancy themselves against the Boks. They won the All Blacks last year, and the Boks could definitely be on the list again this time around.
No, for sure. Many changes as mentioned, but we've also seen the Argentinian team. And like Alberic is saying, it's not going to be an easy game at all. But again, there's a lot of guys that are well rested and obviously looking forward to the opportunity to again start their Rugby Championship campaign. We've also got local fixtures. We're just going to have a sneak peek at that. There you have it. The Lions playing the Bulls. The Sharks plays the Cheetahs. En Alberic se Western Province wat dan daar teen die Puma speel, dis alles in die Currie Cup hierdie naweek. Ja, ek dink dit is lekker om weer die jong manne te sien hardloop op die veld. Young players taking their chances in the Currie Cup, and hopefully some of them will end up playing for the Springbok in the near foreseen future.
Yeah, fantastic rugby. We already saw this yesterday's result, some running rugby. And some big scores. So again, youngsters, they want to show what they're worth and want to put their hand up, come the next World Cup, for example. So yeah, we're really looking at the next generation, and this is where these players will come from.
Yeah, for sure. And then obviously we didn't miss this one at all. Today, the Springbok women, yeah, South Africa
Massive.
66, Kenya 0. Great to see our ladies doing so well, and may this continue for very, very long. We are very, very proud of that result as well.
Yeah, Stanley Ruben has been doing fantastic work with him over the last couple of years, and I would definitely foresee, bigger teams falling along the wayside, with all respect to Kenya. But yeah, SA Women definitely doing us proud, so well done to them.
Ja, nee, verseker. Julle kan daai boodskappe op ons sosiale media blad kan julle laat kom. Ek sien daar's 'n klomp mense van Woester wat vir my goeienaand sê, goeienaand ouen, lekker om weer van jou te hoor. So daar's Hein Pieterse, hierdie man is op sy kop. Dan sê manne, "Sjoe, Heinie is mooi geknip." Ja, kyk, Hein, die hare het maar gegroei en maar daar kom 'n punt wat ek moet sê, die barber moet maar inklim. So ja, ek voel sommer ligter. Ek is 3 kg ligter op die skaal. Furlough is ook aanlyn. So laat hy boodskappe kom. En ons gaan natuurlik nou oorskakel na een van ons gaste toe, maar bly ingeskakel. Ons het 'n interessante kompetisie. Ons gaan 'n wenner aanwys later. Daai super fan kompetisie, en ons gaan natuurlik vir ons gas vra om 'n bietjie betrokke te raak om daardie wenner aan te wys. So without further ado, Alberic, I think it's fitting to introduce our guest. Certainly been on our list for quite some time. We wanted to speak to her, obviously in Women's Month. PR professional, someone that knows the media and communication industry very, very well, passionate about sport, women in sport, and obviously a renowned award winner in this sector as well. So tonight, for the first time, please welcome on Tekkel Live, PR specialist Marisa Calvert. Marisa, welcome to Tekkel Talk Show. Wat 'n wonderlike voorreg om met jou te gesels.
Hallo julle, dankie. I'm very happy to be here.
It's great. It's always nice to have you, and I'm pretty sure we will have an insightful discussion about the PR, the comms, and the sport, and everything that goes with it. But before we get there, wie is Marisa? Waarvan kom jy? Vertel ons 'n bietjie meer van jou agtergrond.
Okay, so Marisa is 'n meisie van Gerabou. I grew up in Gerabou. I loved there till matric. After that, I went to study at CPUT after watching Jerry Maguire show me the money. So I went to study sports management at CPUT. And because I've always been involved in sport, of het nou vir Suid-Boland was, of het nou drammies was, netbal, atletiek, I mean, Gerabou is my sportplek. So I then decided, maybe I must go try my hand. But that was early 2000s. So there was not a lot of opportunities at that stage. There was always a running joke. Once you graduate, you're going to go work at the gym. Because that is where people ended up. They ended up at the gym. And I did not want that for myself. And then I got involved in psychology because I didn't just do the diploma. I took a year off and then I decided, okay, cool, let me go try out this psychology and marketing. That really grabbed me. I then went overseas. I worked in the Middle East. I worked as a sports account manager. I worked with the national football team of Oman. And then I came back the year of the World Cup and I ended up working for Octagon. And that's where I spent like 3 years just learning about the sports industry in South Africa. But my passion was really ignited for women's sport, especially when I started to work in the women's sports space. And I realized that I didn't really want to be working with big names and big stars. I want to build, because that's where I'm at. I want to build. So besides that, I love my couch. I love my bed more in winter. I'm a runner. I'm always running. And I'm a mom. I mean, that is also a title. And that is me. Not in a nutshell, but yeah, there's a lot of layers to me though.
Awesome. And we're gonna unpack it as we go on. Marisa, you mentioned building and building a profile, and obviously with your experience you built over the years. What led you to PR and comms? It's a tricky industry. There's a lot of good and bad with it. But what led you into that field?
I think it was more because I also wanted to be a voice for those who cannot speak almost. And because I enjoy networking and I enjoy going to karaoke with the journalists when we could still, and I just had that gift of the gab, it was easy for me to just naturally fall into that space. And like marketing was very hard eating. If you are in marketing, and kudos to the marketers, it's a very tough industry. But PR is almost softer. It's you're not asking a lot. You actually trying to amplify. You meeting your media people halfway. You are the messaging that you put out there is an inclusive type of messaging. And I think that is what I really enjoyed. It's just like being the voice for somebody.
Awesome.
Yeah, fantastic. And obviously, you've mentioned working abroad. It's been quite a fulfilling journey, I can hear. Any highlights that stands out for you before we get to those awards? Is anything else top of mind that you would say this is the time when I thought, I've arrived?
So my previous stint at Awesome Engage, I think that working at in the university sports space, that felt like I've arrived, because like I've seen talent before the world seen the talent. I've seen Herschel Yankees score a winning try for UWC when he still had his dreads, before the world saw Herschel Yankees score a winning try for the Springboks. And you kind of see that, there's talent. This is that we are sitting on the cusp of talent. The varsity netball, I know, is kicking off next weekend. They're doing a 9-day bubble in Stellenbosch. And the talent that is in the university netball space it will blow your mind. And it is understandable why South Africa is 4th in the rankings. Just because netball in South Africa is not professionalized. These girls work full-time jobs. They study full-time. So if they don't go overseas, then they get lost in a system. So I'm going off track here, but yeah, it's university sports. I mean, I don't work with them anymore, but I still get called, and it's like, Marisa, can you help? Can you do? And I'm like, not there anymore. And that is how I know I've arrived. People miss me.
Yeah.
And bring all that. I mean, you've won a couple of awards in PR and comms. How did that strengthen your career or strengthen your reputation necessarily, or how did it influence later role that you might have taken?
I think it did give a little bit of prestige. It really offered that, and I highly recommend anybody and everybody to support G Sport because of what they stand for. But it also motivated me to do more, because you cannot, you only as good as your last award. So it's almost like, okay, now what? You've reached here, but now what? What's next? And it helps you to chase for the next, and not in a bad way. Because you get that bad chasing, but this helps you to, I actually want to do more. I want to be more. I want to create more. And that is what it has done for me.
Awesome.
No, for sure. As jy enige vrae het vir Marisa, laat hulle deurkom. Ons werk agter die skerms om van die vrae te wys op skerm. So ons sien daar is beweging op social media. Ons weet nie of dit Grabouwse mense is en of dit university se mense is, maar as movement. Ons gaan van die beste comments wys. Laat hulle kom en vir die mense wat daar iets te sê het oor my haar ook. Ek sien dit ook baie dankie vir dit. Marisa, in 2020 you started your own business. It's a major step. Marisa Calvert Communications, MCC.
Yeah.
What inspired you to take that step? Because obviously, starting your own thing, it's a whole different story.
Yeah. So retrenchment, because with sport closing, unfortunately, there were changes that needed to be made. And so I've in the past few months, I've been working full-time elsewhere, but I started it to obviously pay my rent. And then I did it. It was almost like I was a hamster on a wheel. I was just like doing and saying yes to every little project. And I took a step back in February and I'm like, this is not really giving me what I want. I know what I want. I know what I want to do. And I started working behind the scenes with like-minded people. And we know where we want to see sport go to in the future, and we know where we want to put South African sport. So we've been working on a project in the background, and it's a lot of work in the background. So we can't speak about it yet because it's certain things, but that is basically where MCC is going to move into, and it is going to be amplifying the voices of those who are not heard, who are not seen. And really, I mean, you guys watched the Olympic Games, and people say, yeah, it was a bit of a how do we call it? It was
Let down.
It was poor. It was poor. Like, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. It was great that we had 2 women, but for me, we could have done a lot more with the right support. We are now 12 days away from Paralympics. They're only announcing the team on Saturday. That's 10 days. What PR are you going to do? What is your campaign? And that is where where I want to make a difference is in those voices that are not heard, that are not seen. Because that's the only way we're going to start moving the conversation like, oh, this one is in the news because the media is supporting. The media is supporting, so the fans are seeing. So people are enticed. People want to know more. Fans are coming and fans are cheering on. Your sponsors come on board, your sponsors and your broadcasters, and all of a sudden you've created something. Varsity Cup didn't start because people were hungry for university rugby, but there was a concept that formed part of that. And today it is the biggest rugby competition in South Africa, except for sevens, but it is the biggest 15s rugby competition in South Africa. It is bigger than Currie Cup. I mean, if you look at crowd. So so that is where I am, like, that is where I want to move MCC into.
And with that said, I mean, you mentioned, the challenges that even, for example, the Olympics faced, and largely due to COVID and the pandemic that we've all faced. And we've spoken about the previous episodes regarding the fact that the Lions are here, there's no fans in the stadium. But when it comes to your passion for women's sport, crowds drive sponsors to a game. How do you, with COVID and the pandemic that we're in right now, how do you bridge that gap and make it enticing for a sponsor to look at hockey, to look at the lesser known non-professional sports or amateur sports?
You have to continue to tell the story. Make it your goal. If you want to write a book, you are going to write a page every day. And you're going to say every day, because you're busy, you've got to clean the kitchen, you've got to do the school run, you've got to take your children to sports, whatever. But every day you say, I'm going to set out an hour and I'm going to write, or not even a page, I'm going to write an hour every day. Eventually, your book will be completed. So it's the same thing. Rome wasn't built in a day. If we start telling that stories today, as we lead up to, say, Paris 2024, I'm going to be running, by the way. I felt very good in my run today, so I feel like I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm going to be a sprinter. But so if you start building that already, and I feel this is where SASCOC is failing in a way, because they are not. They wake up, and no disrespect to any federation or anything, because they've got their own politics and protocols that they need to adhere to. But I feel we're waking up too late. Olympics for 2024 should start the minute they come off the plane in South Africa, if not before, because we need to build our athletes. We need to say, okay, fine, here's our investment. We want to bring home 10 medals. Invest. That's the only way we're going to bring home more than 10 medals. And they did it so well for Rio, but they also had nice with the cream of the crop. But then they come back and there's like, you promised us a bonus, but there's no bonus. You promised us this and there's no that. You basically close with us with our medals, and then you leave, and then what then? Then you drop the call, and then come. Okay, 5 years later, you want to be like, oh, hey, we cannot have that. We cannot have people that's just there for glory. And if we continue to tell the stories, I see one of the comments is actually, what's the best way for youngsters to get into sports PR? Write the stories. Write the stories. Find a passion. So if your passion is swimming, go to the local club and say, listen, I'm going to write all your stories. I'm going to follow a swimmer. I'm going to do all your highlights. You go to your local community paper. They're always hungry for content. And you say, listen, can I have so small of a piece? Or get a relationship with one of the journalists and say, I will send you every Friday. I will send you the updates. The journalist doesn't have to go look for it. And the info is there. Eventually, your persistence is going to pay off. And people are going to start taking note.
Oh, for sure. And that we can hear, certainly we can hear Marisa has got a vision. She understands the industry very, very well. And obviously, our wish is that somehow, some way, that you can give guidance, specifically from a comms PR perspective, where, it's a specialized field, and we believe that you can add a lot of value going forward in the sport industry. Kom ons praat vir women in sport. That's your passion. Women in sport, equality in sport. Short term, what do you think are the aspects that we need to address as a country in sport to obviously create equilibrium or an environment where things are more equal than what it is at the moment?
So first and foremost, we need to get out of the notion that women's sport is a charity case. It is not. We need to see it as an investment. Once you start investing in a brand, in a product, in something, your return of investment is going to happen eventually. I mean, you don't go and invest your money at your broker, and then tomorrow you're going to get the fat payout. That doesn't work like that. That is not how investments work. Investment is, I'm going to back you 100%. I'm going to, if you back, for example, the Proteas, the SPAR Proteas team, and I'm talking about the netball team, you say every player that runs out in green and gold for the SPAR Proteas is going to get a salary, right? You're ready. That goal is already 10 steps ahead than what she was. Also, you get performance bonuses. It's another step forward. If you make the team and it's your debut, you get X. Now you're already getting all these girls coming out to try out to be better, because what happens, and you'll see it in athletics a lot. Our girls go to school and they light up it into schools. They get to university because they're studying. They light up Kutsenberg. They graduate. They're done. They're done. There's nothing after that, and this is why we have no girls or no women on our track at the Olympic Games. Wow. That is a problem. Because I've seen the fastest girls at varsity athletics who have graduated and they're working full time. There's no money, there's no investment. So if we start thinking of women's sport as an investment and backing our teams, backing our women, we can't just have Babalwa as our professional rugby player and she got a contract abroad. What about here? Why aren't we having a league here? There is an interest. And whether the interest is from fans or from players, there is an interest. Because every girl that's playing, that's on the field, is a girl that is protected, that is giving back to her community, that is, it's a girl off the streets, basically. We invest that in our boys. We need to do that, do the same with our girls.
Yeah, support.
Fantastic. I think, wow, guys, that's some real insight. And wow, that's amazing. I think, and you just gave some insight into the fact. I mean, it's a very good question. I mean, you looked at the track and you looked at the Olympics, you think, but where's all the women, on the track? And you just highlighted exactly the reason why. But you've got a large knowledge, or wide, but broad knowledge of sport. we've been chatting about the British Irish Lions the last couple of weeks, and there's been a lot said about, you know, on the field, off the field, you know, what Rassie said, what he didn't say. What was your take? I mean, you obviously looked at, you know, the fact that there wasn't fans. We mentioned earlier the fact that there wasn't fans in the stadium. What was your take overall regarding the Springbok performance, regarding the tour in general? What was your take on it?
Oh, I loved it. I was very controversial. So funny story, and I mean, it is something a friend of mine noticed first, and she noticed it watching the Olympic Games. Is that, do you think fans create anxiety in performance because they now can perform without being booed, without being harassed or whatever? Because as much as a crowd carries you, it can also break you.
Yeah.
So the it was basically fair play for everybody. So first test, I've seen some things, and I was the one that was shouting at the TV. I was very upset because I was also like, our dear TMO, and I'm like, why you like, where's your spine? Why aren't you, did you not just we're watching different games here, like, did you not, I mean, Vali's back was almost broken. And
Yeah.
what I loved was Rassie's video. Some people say, why did he do it? He should have just left it. I'm like, it's good because he created conversation. And what is a test series every 12 years without a little bit of drama? And we needed that drama. If you looked at the third test, at the posts, the after-match photos, people are chummies. They're having themselves a time.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
live
no,
in
for
the
sure.
world of reality TV, and we have to create. So what happened after the first test? We lost it. Cool. We were rusty. Our boys haven't played in a while. Yes, we had a lot of internationals, but also as a team, they haven't played in a while. Cool. Write that one off. British and Irish Lions, they were performing. I thought that, they were like Man United fans winning a game and thinking they won the league. Anyway,
I hear it.
second test come. The referee was super fair. I loved him. Rob. I loved him. He was very fair. I think the third test they had the best one. But fair, he only just like Zen. He was just so calm. And I will always I call out when the Springboks are catching on nonsense, and they fizzled out. They didn't give me that 80 minutes. They fizzled, and they were lucky to, But the third test, I watched it alone. I didn't need people around me because, like, first and second, you watch it with people. I watched it alone with my fiance, and I'm like, I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to tweet. I didn't want to do anything. I was like I'm here. I'm with you, Rassie. Yeah. And I think Rassie plays mind games, and I love it. I love that he plays mind games. He's got such a, I mean, what is it? Yaku Yuan. I don't know what is it.
Yeah. It's the social media persona.
Yeah, but it was like spin doctor goed is happening because immediately the conversation moves away from the Springboks bad 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And it goes towards, the Lions is this, that, kick for Gatland, So immediately, and also, I love the fact that they didn't allow British media to get into their heads. So yes, we play a very boring brand of rugby. Our brand it's boring, but it wins, and that is important. I don't care if it is boring. Like Mr. All Black, you can fall asleep. I don't care. Your team is still on. You're still watching though. Be afraid. So yeah. So I loved it, and I'm so sad that we couldn't be there. But then I'm also thinking, none of the players were heard any booing. They weren't subjected to that crowd violence almost. Because I mean crowds are nasty, and it's both. I mean, if you think about that game, how they would have slated that Maro Toji, and which would have taken away from the brilliance of Russell Finn. Like he was absolutely, like he came on Saturday, and it's like he just changed. He was so multidimensional. He just changed that game immediately. I was happy, biggest off, and I'm like, oh crap. They took off the second best one. When they bring out the best.
Wow.
No, for sure.
I wish we had a soundbite to play like an applause for your analysis, because that was fantastic. Wow, well done. That was awesome.
And she just mentioned a few things, and I can see from her point of view, from a PR comms point of view, just picked up the series just had it all. Van 'n persona wat die coach hier is, dan draai water, dan mag hy nie water dra nie, dan maak hy aan in 'n video, dan sê Gatland die, and so the journalists were just fed with content. That's apart from the 80 minutes on the field. So listening to Marisa, I just realized how valuable this whole series was, and how easy it should have been for journalists to just generate original content. But obviously having Marisa here as well, we ran a competition, and she's a PR specialist,
and she's going to be
sy gaan ons bietjie judge.
We've guys, we know about we've had a competition, the Tekkel jersey competition, and Marisa's gonna choose the winner. We cannot choose, we will not choose, because we had too many beautiful entries, and we're gonna leave that.
How are they gonna hate me?
No, they won't. Guys, leave the comments and give her all the love once you choose. So we're gonna run through the couple of selections, and then we'll give you a roundup of everybody, and then you can choose who the winner is. So number 1 we had Henny Lategan. I sent us his entry.
That's a beautiful one.
That's a beautiful one, yeah. Then number 2 was Sheldon Swartz. And Mana looking very mean there.
That's his 2 sons there.
Like jersey is like an old jersey. It's a lang book. It was a book to nog baba was.
Then we had number 3 was Further to Run. Further is one of our regular viewers on the show. And then we had Divan Robertson. Number 4.
He's the brother of one of the presenters, so ek hoop nie dit gaan Tino Kelly. Maar kyk jy ou het 'n antiek aan jong lion lager. Yes, hy seker hy nog geërf. Daai bietjie te Hendrik te kry.
Then we had number 5, Grant van Skalkwyk. Grant showing his new jersey there, and his kids there showing who they support. And then number 6 we had a video entry actually, and it was from Amber's Bidboy. So yeah, let's just have a look at what Amber had to say.
Hier kom die bokke, hoekachaka, pap. Welkom in live hier by my shelter. Ek sien uit na vanmiddag se wedstryd. Dit lyk na die bokke wat hierdie enetjie gaan vat. 30-13. Hier kom die bokke. Ja.
Well scripted. So yeah, just to give you the roundup of everybody. And Marisa, there's everybody. Number 1
so hard, guys.
To number 6. So yeah, so Marisa, drum roll please.
Right.
And the winner is.
Okay. So just a quick analysis. So I would have liked it if number 6 had like background and streamers and all of that. That would have made it so quiet. Like cookie setting with
pom girls.
That would have been great. But they're all very great in entries. It's very hard to choose. As a mom, already it's going to be either 1, 2, or 5. But yeah, I'm going to choose, and this is only because the cute man. I'm going to go with number 2. The boys are so cute. I'm going to go with number 2. The boys
are There you have it.
There we have it. Sheldon Swartz and his boys. Marisa obviously had a very difficult choice. But there you have it. Sheldon, if you are tuned in or if you're not, well done on entering the competition. En jy net, sorry is op. Sheldon Swartz.
Wat kan ek my mind change?
Sheldon, Jossie man.
Hy het 'n Tottenham hempan, kan ek dit change?
Ja, daar's Grant ook een van die finaliste wat sê congrats daar aan Solly. Solly, jy en jou seuns baie mooi gelyk. Dankie dat jy ingeskryf het en aan al die ander wat ingeskryf het. Ons kon net 6 finaliste kies, maar ons het goeie nuus vir julle. Goeie nuus vir julle vir die Rugby Championships. Die All Blacks en die Aussies en die Argentines het gesê ons wil ook die besigheid deelneem. You can now enter. What's our WhatsApp line? We're going to show it on our Facebook page. And obviously, you can enter for the Rugby Championship. So as your gees, and you can walk away with a personalized Tekkel Talk Show sublimated jersey. So aan Solly, ons gaan kontak maak met jou. Ons gaan natuurlik jou size kry en van volgende week af gaan jy maar lekker in die strate rondloop met 'n splinter nuwe Tekkel Talk Show rugby jersey. Voor ons afsluit,
Sorry, just to add to that, there will be a super group pool that will be announced later after the show. So yes, guys, yes, please join in. And this season you'll be able to win. It's a very short season. Obviously, we're looking at the Rugby Championship, but you'll be able to win a Tekkel jersey. So guys, please join in. Watch our socials later, and you'll have all the details on there.
Nee, verseker. Before we greet, you had a few banters going about Man United playing one game and then it seems that they're winning a cup and nou sien weer in Solly's Tottenham rugby jersey en voortjie het gevry. You are a Chelsea supporter, obviously flying high, having won the UEFA Champions League and last night walking away with some more silverware. Ek het nie geweet daar is Chelsea supporters hier, but you probably see the first one that I meet. Tell us your prospects. As a Chelsea supporter for the season, a lot of people tipping you as possible champions of the English Premier League. Hoe voel jy? Ek is seker jou nerves want hulle het jou maar 'n paar keer vir jou gedisappoint, maar dink jy dit is julle jaar?
Ek wil nie soos 'n Liverpool fan klinkie nie.
Ek sê
John Terry actually said it so well. He said that this season of players, it's young players, and they are winning, and they are becoming addicted to winning. So they will carry on winning because this is they want to taste the glory going on. I love what Lil Tucci is doing to the team. He brought Kepa on. This was fine puppies because mense en hulle respek my slaapie, but okay. So that and we've never had good luck in the Super Cup. So I feel that we are, I don't want to write off the other teams because I'm feeling that the other teams are also reaching except Arsenal. They're also reaching some kind of standard. I love painting with my fellow Londoners. Man United, I wouldn't write off. I wouldn't write off Liverpool. I wouldn't write off City because they are also strong contenders. And but I think that Chelsea has, they have the talent. They just need to believe in themselves. They just need to stop messing up and conceding because that is where we struggle. Is our defense. We are so easy to concede. Even last night you. Score one goal and then you wait? No, we don't wait. We score all the time. And that is what City has above everyone is that they continue scoring. But now that we are all here, I don't know if you guys saw PSG's latest signing.
The Messi one.
The Messi one?
No. Tanushri Pillay, former Springbok Fajo, is now the PSG Fajo. I'm just saying. We are signing great people. We are signing legends.
Wow. But she's been with the Box for a long while, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So she's one of the World Cup winning Fajos.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
so
fantastic.
she announced yesterday that she's
great news
signing. Yeah. And she's a UWC alumni. So well done.
Wow. That's big
fantastic.
News. Thanks for informing us. We didn't know that, but that's great news. So, but good luck. Good luck to Chelsea, and I'm pretty sure your team will certainly do very, very well in the English Premier League this year.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. It's been so much fun.
Yes, but before you go, we've got one more question, and with regards to you felt like listening to your story tonight, you felt like you've accomplished already so much. What is there that you have to say to a youngster, another woman in sport, girl that's trying out in the local rugby team or football team? What message of hope do you have for her to keep on going through, despite the pandemic, despite the fact that there's no sponsors, despite the fact that SPRINGBOK is doing all the things that they shouldn't be doing? What message of hope do you have for that young girl looking to a career in sport?
First and foremost, get a mentor. It is very important to get a mentor and reach out. Some might not reply, but don't give up. Someone will. There's LinkedIn, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, Facebook. People eventually respond. Don't feel despondent if you don't get that. We all want to help each other accomplish, and we want to be stepping stones. Back yourself. Always believe in yourself. Back yourself. If people say you can't, show them that you can. If you read a lot, I am always reading reports and updates. Like LinkedIn is my new favorite platform because people are so free to give like updates and reports. I just the other day I downloaded stats that I haven't gone through yet because weekends are my reading time, but it was the stats on female participation and viewership at the Olympics. Free stuff. Use that and build your knowledge. And then find your niche. If your niche is netball, focus on netball. Don't be like me and be all over the show. And then just focus on the one thing because you can expand from there. Maybe you see someone at university and you're like, you got quite good talent. I'm going to do something. I'm going to help you. I'm going to work with you. And you can actually become that person's publicist. So it's little things that you do, and don't think of money because money does not come immediately. Money comes eventually, but don't make it money. If it's your passion will speak through your words. But yeah, back yourself, get a mentor.
Great, wise words. And we've learned so much through this conversation, Alberic, about PR, communication, some media, and obviously the reason why we had you on the show is to thank you for the difference that you've made. We have a slogan at the Tekkel Talk Show where we say we encourage a culture of recognition. So from us at the Tekkel Talk Show to Marisa Calvert from Grabouw for making a difference, for representing South Africa abroad in the communication, the PR sphere, making sure that the people globally takes note of the skills and the competencies of young professionals in South Africa. And then obviously having the courage to start your own business. We will obviously have a look and always have an eye on MCC, Marisa Calvert Communications, and we wish growth and obviously prosperity upon your business as well. And there where you represent women in sport, may you continue, may you always be the difference that we want to see in the world. Rest assured that your efforts goes a long way. There are many ladies tuned in tonight, but even those that are receiving the spin-offs of your hard work, we want to thank you. And for representing the little town of Grabouw, as you've mentioned, may you also inspire young people from that area and from smaller towns like Grabouw to reach their dreams and reach for the stars. So from the Tekkel Talk Show, we want to wish you well. We want to tell you that you're making a difference. And we want to say, Marisa, you are representing, but you are also adding so much value to the lives of the people around you. May you go well, and thanks for joining us at the Tekkel Talk Show tonight.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. It was so much fun. And thanks everybody who watched and commented. And yeah, congrats again to our winner.
Great. Thanks for having us. There you have it, guys. Marisa Calvert op die Tekkel Talk Show vandaan. Was lekker om met haar te gesels. En dan altyd, Alberic, lekker om met jou te gesels. Ouder gewoonte gesels ons volgende donderdag weer met jou. maar ons hoop dat jou WP-span daarom jou hartjie sal bly maak hierdie naweek ook.
Ons hoop ons kyk maar. VP has a habit of breaking hearts, but yeah, let's hope it's different this weekend around. So yeah, thanks Marisa again from my side.
Cool.
Now for sure, there you have it guys. It brings us to the end of another episode at Tekkel Chat. Check ons uit op YouTube, op Facebook, praat saam op Twitter. Volgende donderdag maak ons weer so. Môre is die link op ons van ons Superbroer pool op ons Facebook bladsy. Kom vat ons aan in ons eie prediction game. Tot volgende week. Stay safe. Groete.